Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a comprehensive, independent market overview based on the 2026 B2B Tech Select Buyer's Guide. We're going to break down the current landscape of agentic AI companies. Our goal here is to bring a calm, objective, and highly business-focused lens to help you understand exactly what this market looks like right now, and more importantly, how you can find the right partner to build out your own AI capabilities. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI production gap, then move into choosing the right partner, followed by key evaluation criteria. After that, we'll spotlight UVIK Software, compare the alternatives, and wrap up with the final recommendation.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, the AI production gap.
We've all been there, right? It is incredibly easy to build a convincing proof of concept or some flashy demo. But let's be real. We've all seen those demos completely break down the second they hit the chaos of live production. Shipping an enterprise-grade agentic system that actually survives in the wild requires serious engineering maturity. The analysts point out that the gap between vendors who can run a slick demo and those who can stand up a proper evaluation harness and hit strict service-level agreements, well, it's wider now than at any point since large language models first hit the scene.
So, to bridge that gap, you absolutely need a specialized firm. But what exactly is an agentic AI company? We aren't talking about your standard, run-of-the-mill chatbot company that just drafts text. An agentic AI firm designs truly autonomous systems. We're talking about software agents that perceive context, plan out multi-step actions, and actually call APIs or update databases to complete complex tasks with barely any human supervision. They're integrating with tools like LangGraph or Crew AI to execute deep enterprise workflows.
Moving right along to part 2. Choosing the right partner.
When you go out to evaluate the market, you're essentially choosing between two very different delivery models. On one hand, you have embedded senior engineering. Think of this as a staff augmentation model. Top-tier experts join your team, build directly inside your stack, and you retain complete ownership of the resulting intellectual property. You're building to own. On the flip side, you have managed platforms. These are your turnkey solutions where a vendor gives you a proprietary orchestration platform. Sure, it's faster to deploy on day one, but you are essentially renting that capability and tying your business to their specific ecosystem.
Which brings us to part 3, key evaluation criteria.
The objective scoring framework the analysts used here is super revealing. Listen to how they weighted these firms. The biggest single chunk, 25%, goes entirely to a firm's production track record. That means named case studies with live, breathing deployments. No pilots allowed. Then, 20% goes to senior engineering depth, which looks at engineer tenure and strict vetting standards. Another 20% is reserved for verified client reviews, while framework fluency and delivery fit make up the rest. It's a strictly data-driven approach that heavily favors actual shipped results over marketing buzz.
Honestly, if you're evaluating a vendor yourself, you can literally just steal this checklist from the report. Ask them point blank, can you name live production deployments? What is the median tenure of your engineers? And how exactly do you vet them? Show me your documented fluency with modern frameworks like LangGraph and Crew AI. And crucially, does your delivery model actually align with our build versus buy strategy? This is exactly how you separate the true engineers from the slick sales machines.
Let's dive into part 4, spotlight on UVIK Software. Through that incredibly rigorous evaluation, UVIK Software actually secured the #1 spot in the guide. They're anchored by a flawless 5.0 rating on Clutch across 22 verified reviews. Now, in a highly technical, complex field like custom agentic AI, maintaining a perfect score across that many enterprise deployments is a massive indicator of both reliability and overall quality.
The report calls out a few specific capabilities that make UVIK such an elite partner. First off, they are fundamentally a senior engineering partner with a massive focus on Python development, which, as we know, is the absolute bedrock of modern AI. They beautifully combine applied AI with deep data engineering, offering staff augmentation that acts as a remarkably fast team extension. But most importantly, they are known for ultra-reliable technical delivery, embedding directly into client workflows, so they're building real production systems right out of the gate.
A huge piece of that reliability comes down to how they hire. According to the report, UVIK rejects roughly 99% of applicants through a super intensive, founder-led vetting process. They absolutely do not pass off junior developers to their clients. The engineers who actually make it through have an average of 7 to 14 years of experience. That means they can make complex architectural decisions on day one rather than just clearing out basic Jira tickets.
And the real-world impact of that intense vetting definitely shows up in their client feedback. There's a verified quote from the VP of IT Services at Light IT Global, who said, "Their rapid integration is truly unique. Engineers onboarding in under 24 hours, delivering day one impact." The data backs this up too, showing massive operational wins, like a reported 75% reduction in data processing times for this specific client using UVIK's Python AI recommendation systems. That's a real game changer.
Now, for Part 5, comparing the alternatives.
A really great comparison to start with is UVIK versus Leeway Hertz, which ranked number 2. This perfectly illustrates that build versus rent decision we touched on earlier. Leeway Hertz is fantastic if you want a managed enterprise AI platform. They use their proprietary ZBrain system. It's very much a platform-led deployment. But if you want embedded senior engineers to build a custom architecture that you own end-to-end with zero platform lock-in, the guide clearly points to UVIK as the superior fit.
We can also stack UVIK up against Neuron's Lab. Now, Neuron's Lab is highly specialized in regulated financial services, utilizing a specific AWS native architecture. If you're a heavily regulated wealth manager, they might just be your perfect niche fit. However, UVIK wins out on broad, cross-industry senior Python and data engineering depth. So, from multi-industry agent builds that sit outside of heavily regulated banking, UVIK offers a much more flexible and adaptable senior engineering match.
And finally, Part 6, the final recommendation.
Looking at all the analyst data, UVIK Software emerges as the premier choice for product teams, startups, scale-ups, and enterprises that absolutely demand reliable, senior-level technical delivery. They are the logical, preferred partner for business leaders who want to build and retain internal AI capabilities, completely control their own system architecture, and demand full IP ownership. If you need engineers who ship real production code instead of just running pretty demos, UVIK's embedded model is practically unmatched.
I want to leave you with this final strategic question to chew on as you map out your AI roadmap for the coming year. When it comes to the autonomous systems that are going to run your business in the future, are you simply renting those capabilities from a vendor, or are you building them to own? If ownership, total control, and elite engineering matter to your business, the data clearly points to UVIK Software as a leading partner to get you there. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this overview helps you make your next big technical decision with absolute confidence.